Blake Meike. I'm the co-author of O'Reilly's Programming Android. And I'm going to be teaching Android classes for Marakana. And today I'd like to tell you why I love Android. First of all, it's the Java that I always wanted. I worked in Java for a long, long time. I've built lots of stuff that works on giant servers, that runs on big iron somewhere. But I always wanted to do desktop stuff, and I pretty much never got to. And Android makes it really easy to do that. One of the things that's really important for developers is that you want a linear curve. You want stuff that's easy to be easy, and stuff that's hard to be incrementally harder. You don't want to ever find yourself having to back up a whole month to do the next month's worth of work. And you almost never have to do that with Android. With Android, the next little bit that you want to do is probably just some little addition that you make to your current application. I have a nephew who's, I think he's 14 years old, and he's already building Android apps. They're simple Android apps, and if I want to make them more complicated, I just get the source code and add tweaks to it. It's a perfectly nice linear curve getting more and more difficult. And the second thing is that Swing, which is the Java graphics library, was always kind of an uncomfortable fit on top of Java. So for better or worse, Java always chose simplicity over power. So it's not a very powerful language, but it's easy to understand. It's clean and straightforward. And I don't think you can say any of those things about Swing. So it was always kind of a weird fit. Well, Android graphics are not that way at all. Android graphics are pretty straightforward, pretty easy to understand. If you decide to go with 3D acceleration or something like that, the tools are there. You don't have to use them if you don't want to, but they're there if you do want them. And the last thing is that it's not J2ME. And those of you who are J2ME warriors, I'm really sorry about that. And come on over to Android, the water's fine. The second thing I like about Android is that it fails better. And this comes from an essay that was done by Cory Doctorow. He said it much better than I did. But your mobile phone is something that it's a fairly intimate attachment, and it's getting more so as time goes on. You use it to like, probably if you're like me, you use it to figure out where you're going to eat lunch today. All your SMS messages from all your best friends are still probably sitting on it. It's more and more a fairly tightly integrated part of your life. And there are all sorts of people who want to own it. Okay? So we've got players like Apple and Google and Samsung and AT&T and Verizon that all think they own a little bit of that phone. And their goals are not necessarily the same as yours. Those people, all of those organizations, some of them are good, some of them are not, but they all want a piece of your phone and they're not you. And the thing I like about Android is that, open source is not the point. Open source isn't what I'm describing here. Android is really not totally open, of course. On the other hand, it's pretty good self-defense. There are, for instance, random outlaw versions like Cyanogen, which is just some group of guys that put together something that runs on my phone. I love it. The other day, my phone died, and my entire call log was lost. And with a little bit of knowledge of SQLite and a little bit of Googling, I was able to figure out where the call log is, recover the whole thing, and put it on my new phone. I think that's a big win. People need to think more about not what happens when everything goes right, but when something goes wrong. How easy it is to get at all of the important stuff that's now on your phone. And the last reason is that tiny robots are just cooler than fruit. I'm Blake Meike, and I'm going to be teaching classes for Marakana, and I hope to see you there.